Welcome to another episode of Soupcast, the Soupkitchen of podcasts. I think this is like episode 6 or something now.
6, only 6.
No, I don't need to hear it. This time, I've got my little brother Josh and my, I almost called you my stepmom,
Hello,
my
here.
mom.
No, I'm your bio mom.
My real mom. My only mom. Actually, yeah. So yeah, quick thing, we only use first names here, that way.
Yeah.
Just call me
I mean,
mom.
you're gonna be easy to track. You do like tours of the house. Yeah. So just first names, and avoid using people's real names, just so you don't out your coworker's mom.
I'm not gonna talk about coworkers.
My coworker.
Okay, so what are we doing here?
Actually, why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Well,
I am Josh, and
how old are you, Josh?
10.
Okay.
When were you the interviewer?
Well, it's just people want to know how old you are if they're listening to you.
Alright.
That's
They already know who you are.
I'm Caleb's mom.
We kind of know who I am.
Caleb's mom, her name's Robin.
Yes.
Just needed to throw that out there.
How old are you?
We don't need to discuss how
Oh,
old
yeah,
I am.
she's-
Just know that
she's
I'm your
59.
mom.
She's
You're never
49.
supposed to ask a lady her age.
4'9".
Alright, so our first thing we're doing is we're reading my mom's homework. Her students' homework assignments they turned in. We're trying to interpret the drawings they made.
Alright.
Okay, so their assignment was, they're 7th graders, and their assignment was to read a biography of Charles Darwin's life and depict that in a comic where they only were able to draw pictures of the important contributions that he made.
Organism. Alright, so
So this is Josh's interpretation of a comic that a student...
So there's this guy who is a baby, and it says religious, and then another arrow to nature, and a book. And 1909 when he was born, voyage 5 years. Then there's a book with a flower on it, and then...
Yeah, but you're not supposed to tell them what the drawing is of. You're supposed to tell them how you perceive that.
Oh,
what
how
is
I perceive
telling
it,
you?
this
Like, if
ugly
you-
guy turns into a cross, then he turns into some flowers, and then they show there's a boat. I don't know what that is. And then he turns into and then there's a
You really
book
think
with
he
a flower.
turns into something, Josh?
Yeah, it
No,
looks like he does not look like he turns into those things. And then
You're still in the first picture?
yeah. Actually, let's just skip to the back.
Well, that's...
Oh, that's the
the
directions.
back, yeah.
Okay, so then it shows this bird, and then it, like, gets uglier. And then it says an organism with a magnifying glass and some flowers and a fossil with a dog bone. Evolution, a wolf to a dog. That's not how it works. And then it shows
Actually, they say dogs did evolve from
I don't think
wolves.
so.
Well, that's what they say.
Well, that's what they say, but they're idiots.
Hold on.
So, and then there's a bird.
What is your take on the evolution of dogs, then? Where'd they come from?
Well, from probably some weird-looking dog-looking thing.
So,
Which
like
would be
a
a wolf.
hybrid between a wolf and a dog? Like,
No, not at all.
what is this? Just so the wild dog turned into the natural dog or the domesticated dog.
Yeah, this weird-looking,
Alright.
hairless-looking thing. Maybe they came from animals.
Hairless.
And then it shows a bird, but then it says it's strong with eggs, and then there's a dead bird, and it says it's weak. And then Darwin's theory. That's a lie.
What?
All right, this is boring. We need to talk about some random
I
crap.
want to do one.
But what is your take on this?
Well, I'm gonna choose one.
Oh, I thought you were going to do the same one.
No. I won't.
Okay, Josh. So let's talk about your. Do you know what evolution is? I don't think you
Yes.
even know what evolution is. What do you think evolution is?
Evolution is where something evolves from
Right, but what does
What it
evolve mean?
the change.
Perfect. So you don't think that? Do you think that things have changed throughout time?
Oh, heck yeah.
Why do you think they've changed?
'Cause the world and their food and all that crap was changing, so they needed to adapt, and then
Perfect.
changed their
Exactly,
lifestyle.
and that's what Charles Darwin said. So when you were doing this comic, you instead of understanding it, because Charles Darwin is one of the scientists who came up with the theory of it. And here, they came from something else.
Yeah.
Caleb, what do you think?
All right.
Analyze this person's paper. I'll grade it while you tell me what you think.
So this is a different comic. The first panel seems to be someone sleeping on a hot dog bun, drooling. They're also laying on a pillow made of butter, and there's like
butter.
there's snakes or grass or something. Maybe there's like you know those like little garnishes in salad that look like that, and a little string in the top. It's kind of like that.
Oh God, what are those things called?
Some sort of sprout, right?
Yeah, sprouts.
I don't know what sprouts is called. Yeah.
You know about Darwin, so do you think that they're telling about him?
It seems to be.
You guys are being unfair with this grading.
It doesn't look like.
I'm interpreting the art. I'm not. I don't care about the story.
But you have to. You know about Darwin, so do you
Yes.
feel like they're depicting his life?
I don't
No.
I don't care.
It just looks like that. It just looks like a floating and head and neck.
You guys
on
are
a piece
critiquing
of-
it like it's art. You're not critiquing
And
it
a
like
watermelon.
it's the assignment itself.
Yeah, I'm not here to grade. I'm here to just make jokes. It seems here that a group of some sort of box named Eagle Land is shooting at flying turds or buckets of sand or like just collections of mud in the air, and there's a very tiny bird also shooting at the mud, and it's standing on a bag that has a bush, another bird, and a rock in it. There's a book about birds. One of them is looking sharp in the next panel. The next one is one bird thinking about three other birds. Those must be his
No, look at their
buds,
beaks.
his
Look
posse.
at their beaks. They're changing. They're evolving. Boy, you guys would be horrible at grading people's feelings.
He's got
You're
a
not
duck
giving them
beak.
any credit.
Well, first off, we're here to make jokes, not some intergalactic learn some crap show.
There's
Well, you gotta learn some crap, whatever you do.
Nah.
the next panel features a bird covering up a murder. The next bird is
Gotta give her the body.
this is kind of cool. This looks like one's journey through losing weight at the gym. He got a gym membership, and at the end, I guess to lose extra weight, he cut off his arms because they're gone.
Oh, the wheel is gone.
These two birds are comparing each other's stool samples. One has
No, that's food. That's a different size food with the beaks.
food doesn't come out of my rear end. I'm just
It's
gonna
not
say
coming
that.
out of its rear end. It's showing you the
Yeah,
food.
it is.
And it's magnifying it. That's
See-
actually very clever.
See, look, back then he used to poop out these big old turd nuggets, but now that since he's gone to the gym, he's pumping out these little
Little poops.
ox.
All right, and then yeah, this last panel seems to be the Pope telling Bill Gates that he's wrong.
You guys are done.
Clark Kent.
You're done. You're
Is
done.
that Superman's name?
Yeah, whatever.
Why are you getting mad? You were,
I'm not getting mad. It's
You
just
didn't
you
like
guys
the
don't
assignment
you
either.
don't you don't visualize what the whole assignment was about, and then you guys are making fun of it.
So, if you think that whole first section was boring, go down in the chat and write
Don't forget to smash.
All right, Josh, then you come up with something exciting. Hot shot.
Yeah, what's new in the life of Josh? Huh?
Oh, you got a new haircut.
Oh yeah, I look like I'm bald. That's what's new.
You want to explain how that happened? Because we've all had the bad haircut.
So what I think happened is one of my friends said this, and he probably is correct. So they were trying to do it, but then they just went, "Nyeh," and then they're like, oh crap, and then they just said, okay, why not? I just make this kid bald, and then they just chopped off all my hair.
Yeah, I always get that problem where no matter how they cut my hair, I always.
It's horrible.
Well, I can't tell them I don't like it.
There's nothing you can do. You can yell at him.
Well, I mean, like, they do an okay job, but it's usually not great. But it's like, all right, how is it? And I might just hate it, but it's like, yeah, it's nice. I like it. Like, I just can't say that I don't like it.
You have to say that you're fine, but you're not
Isn't
really
that
fine,
funny?
and they'll never understand.
You
What?
feel
They'll never
so.
understand.
It is funny. Like when you go to the doctor, you feel so vulnerable. Like no matter what you want to say or talk about, you just listen to them and think they know everything.
Yeah.
The doctor's different. The doctor and
But
dentist.
it's like that with the hair place too. You just listen to them and you think they know everything, and you never say anything.
No,
No, but the hair place.
I don't feel
They're
vulnerable. I just don't want to hurt their
idiots.
feelings.
Well then, yeah. Well, but if they're not doing it right.
And at the doctor and dentist, I just feel scared that something's wrong with me. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to be sick or
But
Some sort of problem.
I've learned over the years that, especially when you were
You're
babies,
always wrong.
No. I've learned over the years when I used to take you to the doctor, they'd say the same thing to me all the time. Give him the brat diet, blah, 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 blah. I feel like after I took you guys so many times, I honestly feel like I could have been a pediatrician because I lost a lot of faith in thinking that the doctors really know as much as they know unless they're specialists and you're in a real dire situation. The general practitioner, I don't feel like they know.
Yeah, they don't. They're
So
idiots.
much, but
they're
we're
just
so
like, oh
vulnerable
yeah.
when we
Okay,
go
I'll
in
write
there.
this. So it's paperwork.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, all they do is just write your name down on some paperwork and write what's wrong with you, and then this doctor comes in, the specialist, I guess, and then he's like, oh yeah, you need this. Nothing's wrong with you, kid. You're just getting attention. Oh, I'll give you this prescription.
Well, that's because your mom takes you every time you stub your toe. You don't need to go to the
We
doctor.
hear
You don't need to go to the doctor every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So they're not going to just make something
I just look
up.
down in shame.
All right. Well, anyway, Caleb, what else should we talk about? You want to talk about the new trailers of movies?
I mean, I was going to say I haven't been to enough doctors to declare them all idiots.
Oh yeah, and
I don't
I'd
declare
say-
them idiots. I just feel like
Your thing's about to spill.
there's nothing in it.
Oh, okay.
let's talk about
I
that.
don't know.
We have to make this 2 hours long, so we
No,
better
we're not
make
going
it.
to be on here for 2 hours, maybe 20 minutes.
So
We'll do at least half an hour.
yeah.
Half an hour do now.
Do you want to talk about the new It trailer? But don't. No?
I think it would be a lot scarier for me if I was actually afraid of clowns.
I know. Okay, so when
I
you
don't know.
look at
I'm not afraid of clowns, but he's pretty dang creepy.
when you look
Creepy,
at
but it's creepy if you're like into it. You're like, oh no! But if you like kind of back up and look at his face, like he looks really dumb. Like,
I know.
He just looks super goofy.
No, his
The-
voice is creepy.
His like little bottom lip.
I like his voice. I like when he does that. His voice. I don't see anything wrong with it. He doesn't look scary. He's like,
The
ooh.
visuals and stuff are good.
Yeah.
Caleb, you should read the book. I was really scared when I read the book.
I'll have the time. I might.
You know what gets me on these things I'm grading? Is my students, so many of them believe that we evolved from monkeys. They have a monkey and a human being.
Yeah.
We did not evolve from monkeys.
Not from a monkey, from an ape. Oh
We
yeah.
did not evolve from apes.
Here
We
comes
came
big
along
old
the
da-
same line, but they went this way and we went that way, and that's the missing link. We did not evolve from apes. Do you want to invite any of your friends in to maybe, like, I don't know, any of the people that you usually cast with, see if they're available to chime in and help us out?
Like call them.
Well,
Yeah,
well
or
we can
get-
only
or-
do like
This isn't
one.
the cash
Yeah,
cab.
Yeah.
Why not?
Cash.
Why not? They might be saying, "Oh, this is fun. You have guests.
Maybe
this
when,
would be fun
maybe
to
when
do
we
it
come
with."
down for winter break, but I'm not gonna call Jeremy right now. Quick, Jeremy, please tell me
Why
what you think
not?
about
What if
evolution.
he's just sitting around doing nothing?
Well, then what? I like hold him up to the mic and you get this crappy phone audio of him saying, "I think we evolved from."
I don't know. I think it would
Gorillas.
be kind of funny. I don't know. Oh, all right. Anyway, what else?
No,
you guys
I'm
think?
gonna- This isn't a radio
Let's
show.
talk about our
What?
YouTube channels.
That reminds me of a song.
I-
Let's talk about you.
For the
All right,
record-
Robin, be
oh,
quiet. You're not a part of this. You don't know what it's like to have a YouTube channel. All right, Caleb,
Hold
you're
on.
up.
For the record, I'm pretty sure we did come from apes.
Yeah,
So
No, we didn't.
yeah, we did.
I don't know.
Adam and Eve were apes.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that's a whole other realm of. That's
I'm-
more of a
I'm-
creation theory.
I'm just
versus
confused
a
by your-
evolutionary theory.
I'm just confused by your logic. So
Okay, so let me draw it up. Okay, so science says that we have humans and we have apes. And we have very common things. We come down here, humans went this way, and apes went this way. And this is how we are today. There's a commonality there. But we did not change from apes to humans. We didn't.
Okay,
And that's
this,
what the missing
let me see
link
this.
is all about.
Let me see this. Let me see this.
yeah,
Let's
but
take this.
The missing link. That's what everybody says. The missing link. Where did we deviate? If you look back to Neanderthals and all the way back to the Homo erectus, Homo
Yes,
sapien, all
but-
that, it was never an ape form.
but what you're missing is that the lack of a common ancestor between apes and humans the lack of evidence for that does not make evidence for the opposite.
So you really think that humans evolved from an ape?
Yes.
This-
Why don't they think that apes evolved from a human?
This is what
Because it
I
doesn't
think
make
happened.
sense.
This is
Why
what.
not?
Why would they devolve to be less intelligent? I guess that's possible. One could have just devolved sentience and gone, oh, cool, I just lost the ability to recognize myself in the mirror, and then somehow did better. But
No.
I think most humans back then, if they took their kid, like, Down syndrome kid, like, that'd basically be Down syndrome, but extreme. Like, they can't even recognize themselves in a mirror. That's how bad they are.
No.
And they go, hey,
This is my
buddy,
interpretation.
that kid would never reproduce.
Well, explain your interpretation.
So the interpretation is apes. We have apes. We come down, but then we go a different route further down. We were never
Yes.
two.
Okay, so that's what the
Bad
old
logic.
school. That's what the old school logic is. Absolutely. But what they say is
Old
that
school logic.
there is a common link between us, but we were never actually apes.
Well, okay, yes. At some, well,
In fact, what apes are you talking about? Are you talking about gorillas or are you talking about chimpanzees? Chimpanzees
I
are
don't know.
like 99.8% genetically linked to us, but most people associate us with
That's a-
like gorillas versus
genetic-
human beings. We don't look anything like a chimpanzee. We're more closely related to gorillas, if anything.
the
Because that's
genetic-
millions of years of evolution.
Right.
Like you can take a freaking lizard and then picture that millions of years later that became a freaking mosasaurus.
the
Yeah,
genetic-
but look at dinosaurs. At first they thought they came from reptiles, but now they think they came from birds.
All right, shush,
Okay,
science. Let him
opposite.
talk.
Dinosaurs were here, then chickens came, then birds came from dinosaurs.
No, it's the opposite. Birds.
No, Mom, there were dinosaurs and then there were birds. There were not birds and then dinosaurs. You're like going backwards in time.
I don't know. All I'm
So
saying.
you're talking like chickens were hanging out and then just got bigger and bigger and bigger until they were dinosaurs?
No, but they're saying that dinosaurs are more like birds than they are like reptiles.
Yes,
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, that means that birds came from
Okay,
dinosaurs.
so you know what?
probably.
All I'm
But I'm
going off is what
but also-
new science says, that we did not evolve from apes. That's what the new science says. Now, it's not me. It's not like I'm some genius that came up with this. I'm just going off what
Yeah,
I
you're not.
learned.
Well, Jesus, hold on.
Well,
So-
what you've learned is
So what
not
you-
real.
What you said was like, we did not come directly from chimpanzees. Well, yes, we did not, because chimpanzees were I think that's called I can't remember if it's allopatric or sympatric speciation. I'm not even sure if I'm using the right terms. But
I
there's a
don't
type
know.
of
It's been-
there's a type of
It's called.
evolution where it goes from one ancestor directly to the next, and then there's the finch kind of ancestry where one type of finch gets separated through different niches in the environment, and then it creates several different kinds of species that all independently breed just because of their different feeding habits.
No.
What the hell do you mean no?
No, listen. Darwin's whole thing on finches was that if you're on an island and you have the beak that has had adaptations for the food source available, then you will breed and pass your genes on to the next finch, which will have the same type of beak.
Okay.
And the ones that don't have that beak are going to die, and they're not going to breed and have babies. That's how natural selection
That's
works.
not how it works.
Yes, it's
So-
exactly how it works.
Okay.
Only those with the fittest and the adaptations where they can breed and have offspring and pass their genetic traits on, they are the ones who cause the adaptation
Yes.
and natural selection to take place.
Yes,
it's not
but-
like you just change your
But
beak.
there
You
weren't,
have to pass
there
the
weren't
genes on.
16 independent species of finches that could not interbreed that evolved. At
No,
some
they all
point,
came from one.
That's what I'm saying. That's the type of evolution that is. One sort
It's
of
from a
bird,
mutation, though,
one sort
Caleb.
of bird pre-ancestor, common ancestor finch just went all over this island, and then over time, either through niche separation or I think that's character
Mutations. A
displacement.
genetic mutation caused a beak to be better suited for the food.
No, it isn't.
And then the environmental
Yes,
changes,
but
whether they
that's-
had rain or
That,
not.
but it wasn't just that beak is different. Like they got slowly different over time, and then over time those birds are the most capable. So the
Yeah.
smaller ones and the smaller ones, and it just happens over and over and over again. So that one like just gets better at its job because of its anatomy, and that happens because of its niche in the realm. Like
Well,
And then
according-
it's not gonna develop that thing and survive unless it's fundamentally
But
helping
what-
it survive.
But what
in its
natural
niche.
selection says is it was just a mutation.
Yeah, but
It's
if you
just like the giraffes.
Yeah, but it's not
It's
like
just it's like the giraffes. The giraffes, the ones with the taller necks, were able to reach the food source, and so they were able to
Yeah.
breed and give genetics to the taller necks, and the ones that had the shorter necks were not able to breed, and so they died out. And so now giraffes all have longer necks.
yeah.
It has to do with passing your genetic
Yeah,
traits.
you take a bird a million years ago and then you bring it here. It's probably gonna die within the first 3 days.
It
Right.
is possible
It doesn't
to
have
evolve.
the food source and doesn't know what it has to do.
It's based on mutations, you guys. Mutations and the environment, and that was disgusting.
It's possible to evolve from mutations, yes, but I think more often what it's going to be, you're going to have all these pre-giraffe-like creatures. The ones with the slightly taller necks are going to do slightly better, and their genes are going to get slightly more dispersed. Then from that batch, the ones that are slightly taller of those are going to do better as well. And then it's just going to keep going until you have these just elongated things that just dominate. The other ones just can't even compare. That's just gradual things.
Yeah.
So yeah, over time mutations may come in and help or hurt, but I don't think...
No, the whole theory about Darwin and natural selection is the mutation is the key. And if you have the right mutation, for example, no, listen, for example, there's this whole thing, there's this video that talks about mice, okay? Mice are on this area in New Mexico or wherever, and it's desert. So what color do you think the mice should be if they're living in the desert? What color?
Brown.
Brown or light colored? Blonde. They need to blend in with the sand, right?
Sand
so they're blonde. Well, a
Dirt
volcano,
color.
no, this is actually true. So a volcano erupts, covers the area with dark colored lava, magma, whatever, and the mice who are light colored, what happens to them?
They die.
They die because why?
They stand out against
Because
the
they stand out. But there's 1 or 2 mice that are born with a genetic mutation that causes their fur to be dark. Those
Yes.
survive and they breed and they have darker mice and darker mice and darker mice.
Yeah.
And eventually what's gone? All the blonde mice, and what's left? All the darker mice.
And then the
That's
dark
his
mice go
theory.
out.
It's based on a mutation. So if the volcano hadn't erupted, those dark mice with that mutation would have died.
Yes, but you're not proving anything. I wasn't saying mutations can't lead to genetic evolution.
Look at him.
I was just kind of saying that's not
I'm
the
saying
only
that's
way
what
that it
Darwin's
happens.
theory is.
Well, I
is
don't care
that the
what Darwin's
mutation
theory
does
is. He's
lead to
outdated
that.
by like 400 years of science. How old?
Then why do we still
1809?
teach it in schools?
Because it is still relevant. It's fundamentally relevant, but we built upon it
Yeah.
a lot since then.
All right, well, this all goes back to whether we evolved from apes or not. So maybe we should ask your audience. Do you think we evolved from apes?
Nobody-
Chime in and give your opinion.
If you think Robin
Because
is
I
right,
don't think we
you
evolved
type
from
in
apes.
F, and then if you
Type
think,
in an F.
What does that mean?
if you think we're right, you type in A plus. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever, next topic.
What it's like having YouTube.
I think they're probably tired of hearing us argue about that.
I don't know. We had a common ancestor, and then we went one way, and apes went the other way. I think we were on the same page.
All right, switch the
Yes,
topic.
we did have a common ancestor.
All right, we can talk about YouTube. What's it like to have a YouTube channel? I don't know. I just make videos and put them on there. That's
Yeah.
about it.
Then sometimes it gets boring though.
Yeah, I mean, it gets old. I only do this for fun for the most part. It'd be cool
Yeah.
to see an audience grow over time, but I pretty much only do this for fun. And the music I put on there is just so
What music do you put on there?
I only have 2 songs up there. Just songs that I actually finish. And they're mostly kind of bad, but I kind of just put them up there to have a
Yeah.
stockpile of music, just so I don't lose those files. And I mean, if one person goes on there, hears the song and likes it, and it's a win for me.
Like, what songs do you put on? What songs do you have on there?
Just
Guitar. Yeah.
Just a couple
Oh,
little
your
songs I've
songs.
made, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant just like
Few little
songs.
songs.
If he had songs on there, he'd get copyright strike.
Yeah, if there were other people's songs and I had any sort of publicity or
And they didn't like it.
All right, Josh, what's going on in the world of Josh?
What about
Tell us about your world. I mean, like, seriously, tell us about your life. School, home, whatever. What is it like to be a 10-year-old in 2019?
It's fun, but another part of it, school, horrible, not fun. It depends what teacher you have. I currently have a teacher that I do not like. Well, I do, but then I don't.
Why? What's
Because
it like to be Josh?
She's fun, but really strict. And then
it's a hard combination.
it's a hard knock life. I'm not about to bring up that cheesy song. How about you, Shadow?
Just breathing. Alright, you mouth breather.
I'm sure you sang something in some other language.
Josh, tell some of Oscar's
You're like, no.
Well, I can't really tell him because all of them are bad.
All of them are bad. Take that, Oscar.
But
What was I gonna say?
It's a hard knock life.
So you have a teacher that's both strict and fun?
Yeah.
What's she strict on?
Everything.
Like
if you literally miss a day and then you're like, hey, can I see the agenda? And then she's like, no.
What grade are you in?
4th.
It's probably just because you're getting into the older grades and they like to cement those habits.
Really interesting.
Okay, Caleb barely has a following, and I don't think he's ever gonna get one. And I don't think anyone's gonna look over our channels and be like, "Oh yeah, I should use this."
Yeah. Screw me.
No, Caleb's gonna have a following.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
He
famous,
does have
Josh.
a following.
Come on, have some faith. Bill Sandals is out there listening. Bill Sandals the only guy to date that isn't one of my friends to comment on one of the videos, so we just always shout him out. I haven't heard from him since like the first episode though. You know who had ADHD? Remember that one kid, Mom, Chris, that came over to our house a couple times when I was in grade school? That was just nuts the whole time.
Chris?
It was Christopher.
How did we know him?
He was in my school and he came to like something once or twice. He only came like once or twice because I didn't have fun. But he was just nuts. Like, he was walking around and talking, and just, like, falling and walking and doing this and talking. It's like, God, shut up. That kid had ADHD. Like, I think the same thing with OCD. OCD's been watered down, and now anybody that has, like, a minor just, like, tendency to do certain things. Like, oh, I've got OCD.
Behavior, they have OCD.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I've got OCD.
I'm OCD, dude.
I feel the need to arrange my colors. Oh, it's like, no.
Yeah. Everybody, I think every single person has a little bit of OCD. That's called routine.
It's just called quirks. Just little tid things you do. Just little, I don't know, just quirks. Just
right, it's a routine.
things.
Everybody has most people have a routine, and it makes you feel comfortable to be in your routine, your comfort zone. That's what.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be summarized to routine, but real OCD is crippling for a lot of people. Like, it's actually a crippling thing, like where they.
Right. It prevents you from your everyday activities or going through a normal.
Why don't we talk about
life
fun stuff?
This is fun.
Why are we doing theories?
This isn't a theory. This is a talk.
This is life, Josh, and people deal with it.
Life, buddy. It's time to grow up. What are you?
Okay, Josh. How about? Okay, no, let's not do that. What do you want to talk about then?
Funny stuff.
All right,
Funny
go ahead.
stuff. What's funny?
Memes.
We're just gonna this is meme review, guys.
I don't know anything about that. So.
Yeah, Mom. Actually, that's a good topic. Mom, why don't you talk about the because you're surrounded by kids all day. What do you think of like the Fortnite dances and the memes? You see kids like memeing each other all the time. What is it like to be a teacher on the other end?
Okay, I think it's ridiculous that kids spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars purchasing skins or leveling up in a fictitious electronic world,
There you go. Shout
and
them
then
out.
it just disappears. I mean, my personal experience with my kids, they've spent $300 to $500 buying this stuff, and for me, it's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
It's gone in a second, and there's nothing left. And then what do? They come back wanting more. It is crazy how much money they're making off of it.
Those skins, man.
Crazy.
The skin. Okay, I don't get the thing about skins. I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't care about skins. I have my avatar. I think it's cool, and that's why I don't go out and buy some more crap. It's because the skins don't do anything to your physical strength, agility,
Yeah, but
in the
you
game.
spent an astronomical amount of money on Roblox.
Because I was getting something strong.
Yeah, in Roblox you can actually like buy power
But it
ups
was
for the
money
game.
that just disappears into space.
I mean, it's for the game. It's the same idea as why
like
does anybody go to a movie? It's like watching something that's all part of a made-up world. There's no point in
But it's
experiencing
not
something
to
that doesn't
that
exist.
extent. Do you
Shut up.
realize
Can
how
you not
much
breathe
money
into the mic, buddy?
these kids spend on that
It's
stuff?
it's basically being like, oh yeah, you just wasted $10,000 on bills. Money in the thin air.
Yeah, but without paying the bills, we don't have water or electric or food. Those are things you need for survival.
Oh, and you know what you
Skins
also
and
need for
Roblox.
survival? Entertainment.
Listen, Mom. It's when it comes to Josh's specific situation where it's like he's buying power-ups to have a different experience in the game. That's all entertainment. That's all good fun. That's for an experience. Why does anybody watch sports? It's not like they get anything out of watching the sports. Just for fun. They just like being a part of the
Yeah,
thing.
but we don't
It's
have
the
to spend money every week to upgrade the sports.
You gotta play cable. You gotta watch.
Yeah, but that's a monthly thing. It's
Gotta
not
pay
like
for-
we have to pay in addition to. They pay a monthly fee to just play the game,
Yeah.
and then they spend money to upgrade on their skins
No, they
or
don't
their
pay
things.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
You pay once for the game in most cases.
No, we pay monthly to have
You
the
don't have
streaming
to.
service.
Roblox is a free game.
Yeah, Roblox, but not the other one.
That's theirs.
What are you talking
That's
about?
PlayStation.
PS4.
We have to pay
PS4, you already have to pay
have
for
that
it.
Fortnite is a
service.
free game.
No, it's
I
not.
can download it on my phone right now and
No,
prove to you it's
we
a free
pay,
game.
well, then I don't know what we're paying
Robin,
for.
I don't
We're
know
paying
what.
monthly.
You're paying
Robin,
for
you're
some sort of
talking about the
premium.
Plus.
Yeah.
The Plus is a pass that you can buy, so it can allow you to get certain
Well,
games.
whatever. All
Yeah,
I know is that
you-
I see charges for PlayStation all the time.
Yes,
That's called the Plus.
It's like premium. It's a premium account where you get bonus stuff.
Yeah,
Bonus
whatever.
content.
We're
The base
paying-
game
we're
is
paying
free.
for it.
Yeah, the base game is free. And this all actually goes really well with the point. Same thing with football. Let's say you watch football, you watch basketball or whatever like crazy. You pay for the cable. That's basically like your one-time purchase of the game. It's all about the experience, all about having fun. You pay cable monthly, so already we're starting off. You're technically paying more for the sports. That's the base experience right there. You see the sport. You can buy the beer, you can do the trips, you can buy the cool coasters and the t-shirts, you can buy the premium games, the cool stuff, you can buy like the chips, the soda, the drinks, the burgers, you can go to the sports bar. That's all basically the same thing as buying like the
Yeah.
enhancements for the game. Like, oh, I made my character stronger, I made him bigger, and I made him faster. What I don't get is the skins
Okay.
don't do that. The skins, it's just looking cool.
Yeah.
And the only reason that they have those skins is because for games like Fortnite, where it is kind of, it's all about the competitive aspect. They don't want some rich douchebag coming in that can just buy his way to the top and always be superior just because he can afford it. Because that's not really what it's supposed to be
Yeah.
about when it's a competitive thing. Roblox, it's like, it's just kids having fun.
Yeah.
And everything resets all the time anyway, so it's whatever.
So you're telling me that buying skins is similar to me buying shoes, but in a virtual world?
Yeah.
No.
Because when I buy my shoes and I buy my clothes and I spend all the money I do on that to go out and work and to look whatever, a specific way, that's what Christian's doing to look that way in his virtual world?
Sort of in a way, yeah. That
Rather
is
than actually
similar.
doing it himself and being in the real world, he's living in this virtual
'cause he
world
can't-
and he's buying those fictitious
'Cause he can't-
characters.
Well, you
to
can't
him.
run around with a katana and a teddy bear taped to your back and a jack-o'-lantern costume in real life. You'd just be weird. You can't run around your
So
school
it's
with an
okay
AK.
to do that in the virtual world.
It's like an
Yeah.
escape.
It's an expression.
Yeah, you can run around wearing a giant candy cane suit and shoot other kids with an AK. You can't do that in high school.
No, you shouldn't because that's killing
It's
people.
fun,
It's different. No, it's not fun, Joshua.
Well, no, I mean it's fun playing
In a
the
video
game. I'm not gonna be like, oh, it's fun shooting people. Oh, it's
I-
fun
No,
killing
it's a
people.
life.
From a
and
business
that's the
perspective-
disconnect that we have these days.
From like a company's perspective, the only reason the skins exist is so they can still
Make
put in
money.
microtransactions. They can still make money from the game after it's especially for a free to play game like Fortnite and League of Legends does it too. Any of those free to play games, they have to have that kind of thing because they're free to play. They're not making any money. So you throw that little thing in, everyone's gonna do it. I used to spend money on Minecraft
I know. I used to
League
buy
of
you guys
Legends.
cards for Christmas.
Yeah.
Connor used to do it for
It was fun.
whatever he played. It wasn't League of Legends. Yeah, he played League of Legends.
It's fun.
And
I
there's
don't.
World of Warcraft, where Scott used to spend tons of money on.
I thought it was fun in League of Legends. I don't know if I'd get into it as much in like these shooter games like CS:GO and Fortnite just because I don't think the skins look cool. In League of Legends, I at least thought they looked cool. Like they'd revamp all their abilities.
Yeah.
They'd look really different. They'd do animations that were different. They'd say new things. Like that was kind of fun. You get new dances and stuff, but I don't know. It's just a way to bring in money to the game.
Yeah,
But
Exactly.
and the problem is they can't do the game enhancements all the time because, like I said, it's a lot of these games. The whole thing is the competitive aspect, and
Yeah.
everybody hates when they try really hard at the game, and then some guy just walks in wearing nothing but like a gingerbread man in front of his like
He
junk,
just
and then he just blasts you, and it's like, why did he do that? It's like, oh, well, he's paying $400 a month for the premium account. And you're like, oh, well.
Well,
that's
I mean,
stupid.
I get it. Like Scott and I have talked about it. It's like when I was a kid, what did I do? I would sit and watch TV, and I would watch shows all day long. And what's the difference between doing that and playing a game? And when Christian, he like was on the thing one time, and he made a character, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna make her like you, Robin." And then he like made her try to look as much like me as he could, and with the features and the outfit. And I thought that was kind of cool, but it's just I just feel like that the kids, because of this this type of technology, I almost feel like it's even making a more disconnect of the real world and money. And the value of money. And how they're spending it, because they get so much money for birthday presents and Christmas, and
then
it's
it all
like
just goes to waste on
exactly. And to me, that's the disconnect there. If we could teach the value of money more,
but that's why you still have it though.
I don't know, Josh. I just feel like you spent $500 on Roblox, dude.
Like,
okay, do you even have any idea how much $500 is?
Josh is like defending himself. Well, hold on. Roblox is sweating.
So, God dang it, I forgot what I was gonna say. But
you spent $500 on Roblox.
Yeah.
Josh, your rebuttal.
Yep. Anyways.
It's the concept of money and the value of money. And like your dad and I, we work so hard to give you guys everything we have, and we always have. And we just work constantly, and we like Dad does overtime all the time, and I lose my prep so I can have extra money. We do all this stuff. And it's just like for you guys to just take that amount of money and spend it on a virtual world. I have a hard time conceptualizing the value of that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but if you have that game until you're older and you've grown out of it, they have refunds.
What? Yeah, no.
Some games do. Some games
It's not
do.
tangible, I guess is what I'm saying. It's not like food. It's not electricity. It's not water. It's just, it's a want, not a need. And just so to spend that kind of money on a want.
Yeah, it is interesting that because it's like it doesn't exist. But I mean,
it doesn't exist.
And kids aren't good with money, Mom. It's kind of a silly.
No,
argument.
I know, but to give a kid that much money and have him spend it on something that doesn't exist, that's
on you. The amount of money is on who's giving the kid the money.
Yeah, it's on the parents. I get that.
That's not.
But that's
that
the problem with parents these days. Is we're not.
You can
the
limit
parents
them.
are doing a disservice to the kids because we're not creating a real life world for them.
I mean, like
in which they need to understand how to balance their money and spend it appropriately.
I think it's been too long since you were a kid with your really bad spending habits. There was a time for like a year.
Oh my God, yeah. Do you know what I did when I was your age?
Okay, I wasn't talking.
No, I'm sorry.
No, I don't want to talk anymore.
Okay. Well, what I did when I was your age, anytime I got money, do you know what I did? When I was your and Christian's age, 10 and 12,
Blow
you know
it
what
on
I did?
toys.
No, candy.
Yeah.
I would literally walk really far
You're
from
an
my house to Circle K to buy candy and gum and sweets. That's what I spent all my money on.
What?
And then when I got a little bit older, it was always on clothes, and to this day, it's always on clothes and shoes and jewelry and
clothes
stuff
is
like
better, but candy.
Oh my gosh! Yep. Hey, what did he do? He ran outside to the ice cream man today to buy his candy.
Oh, so there's no better
That's
than you.
what kids do.
Oh no, it's like he's a kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you get $500 and you go spend all of it on candy. I spent 75 cents on candy. You're talking about like spending $10 on candy.
Are you kidding me? I grew up in poverty. There was no way I ever got $500. Ever. I'm talking about $1 or $2. That's it. But whenever I got money, that's where it went when I was your age. So yeah, I get what you're saying.
You know what the difference might be is I don't think me and Connor ever really got money. We only got money like from relatives on Christmas. You and Dad never really gave us money. You kind of just got us things. We never we never had allowance. We never really got just raw money.
Yeah, you never had like.
Not until we were like.
No, because remember when we
were like preteens.
Yeah, when you were preteens, we'd say, okay, you have this much money to spend for the summer, and you need to budget how and what you want to spend it on. You have this much money to spend for vacation, and you need to budget what you want to spend it on.
Spend it on stupid stuff. I was gonna say there was a literally time frame where I think for a year, whatever money me and Connor got, we'd immediately take it to the swap meet and spend it on really poorly made like weapons and swords.
Oh gosh, yes, I remember that.
I had like these twin terrible
we still
black
have
swords.
I still have
you
those.
The twin black swords?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I have something that was in Connor's room, a knife he bought or a big sword.
Oh, a dagger thing, yeah.
I think he might have
I bought that dagger. I bought like Connor
remember
brought
that.
a freaking gladiator sword, and they're all really bad quality. And then we bought.
So why-
There was a time frame we were buying the shurikens like crazy, and we'd go out in the backyard and just throw that at the wood.
Why do
thought were
I
cool.
have such a problem with these kids in this generation spending it on these electronic things versus what you guys spent it on, which was toys and ridiculousness as well?
I spend my money on toys partially.
Joshua, you spend your money on amazing toys and then you play with them and ruin them. You spend them on collector's items.
Yeah. It's like they used to buy stuffed animals and then they just chop off their arms and replace them with freaking.
Yes, they did.
Cut their arms
Caleb,
off.
do you remember? I looked in the shower one time. There was a stuffed animal that was cut apart, and the stuffing was everywhere. And I seriously thought I needed to take you to counseling because I thought you were deranged.
You're just nuts.
And I'm like, what?
My son's playing with toys. I think he's crazy.
You weren't playing with toys. You dismembered the toy.
Yeah, just like
That's a little creepy.
Just like every other boy. They were talking about the podcast that I listened to. They used to freeze them in the freezer and
But
slam
you know
them on the ground because they exploded.
But you gave me a logical reason for why you did it, and now I can't remember. But I was really
I
a
explained
little
to you his
concerned
backstory.
when I looked at your stuffed animal was dismembered
Oh,
and cut
Mom,
up.
I already told you. Fuzzy has an extensive backstory. That happened because of his twin brother finally caught up with him. No, dude, Cuddle Toy Adventures was dope. That was a dope game we played. The stuffed animals would fight each other Dragon Ball Z style, and we'd tie
Knives and
no, not knives. We tied bionicle weapons to them. Nobody had any knives. We weren't retarded.
oh, I meant fake knives, like
Yeah.
toy knives.
They had like weird, dumb-looking bionicle weapons taped to them. Some of them we'd give them like action figure guns and stuff. But then we started watching Dragon Ball Z Kai, and then it all just turned into Dragon Ball Z for like the short time period that was going on for.
Well, I remember sometimes they had like a missing eye
Oh no, it was the
or a
games.
missing hand, or Connor used to like position them throughout the house in plants and hanging from the string from
Yeah.
the light
The
on the
bi-
ceiling,
the
and
fights
I'd
and
like
stuff.
look and I'm seeing an army guy with a gun like on him walking by. Oh my gosh! And you guys had the Lego room. That was
The Lego room was cool.
it was
That was
all Legos. That was crazy.
The all-nighter with Bailey.
Yeah.
And you remember when you turned your room into a fort for the entire summer?
That was awesome too.
Like I
Yeah.
literally crawled into it, Josh, and it was like they had their own little world under
We
their
had
bed.
three
It
separate.
was-
We had like three different sleeping
they had
areas
food
in there. Yeah, we had a mini
That's
fridge
not-
in there. We didn't have a microwave though.
No, we couldn't have
Just a mini
microwave.
fridge, and then we had I think we had
A
two
little-
TVs. We had
Like
two
how
little
high
TVs.
was it?
Yeah, but they were
Wow.
little, and then you did
Two
game.
little TVs. Yeah, we had.
Did you have to like crawl like this to even be?
Yeah, we had to get on.
Yeah, you had
get
to
down
crawl.
and get
It
in
was
there.
like a fort bed.
That was cool. That
and
was
you had to crawl under it.
that was a mega fort. We were pretty much pros at building forts, especially since like
Shadow.
it was pretty much only held together with like one chair and the closets. Then we just like to the chair, to the closet, and then to the windows, to the window, to the door, to the closet on itself, and then it was just that one chair that was the foundation, and then it was just
And they had like blankets on there for their beds and pillows, and they were so excited. And they're like, "Mom, come check it out." And I climbed in there one time. And I was like, "Oh my gosh,
it was dark too.
This is
Got dark.
crazy." It was crazy what you guys came up with.
God, I miss the days when you could just build a fort.
You're
Oh.
going to this summer.
I mean, yeah, basically. Just a real life one that has to be rain proof.
Josh, what else is going on in
I
your
wanna-
life?
Why are you asking me?
I'm interested
Because you're
in
like the
Josh.
guest.
What do you-
yeah,
what-
we want to know what's going on in the mind of Josh.
What gives you anxiety, Josh? What are you stressed at? When you look at the world and you sit there, you're like, man, this is gonna suck. What is it that comes to mind?
No, he's got a
About
pretty good
growing up.
disposition. I don't know if he ever gets stressed.
There's only one thing that I really stress about, like really bad, is someone I know is an alcoholic.
All right, well, don't say who they are, but share about the anxiety it causes
So,
you.
They act really weird, and they like slur their words, and they just they'll like ask you a weird question, and they'll just stare at you for like 10 seconds, and then they'll be like, "Why aren't you talking to me?" And then it makes me feel weird, and yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty stressful.
So how do you deal with it, Josh, when that happens?
Oh, I just called my dad. He comes and gets us.
So do you have any ideas on how you can, like Caleb, do you have any advice for him on how he can deal with it when he's going through that?
Call your dad. It's the perfect solution.
Well, yeah, you can call your dad, but then what else can you do?
I don't know. Like,
What does your brother do?
what does Connor do?
No. What does Joshy's brother do?
Oh, just plays games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good outlet.
So what's an
Get you a
escape
DS.
for Joshy?
I mean, yeah, games aren't bad because, I mean, me and Connor just turned it into comedy. When we were younger, it was harder when there's like problems and stuff. But I think back then, Connor would just tune it out with a game or play with his guys, and then I felt like I I always felt like I had to man up and like take care of it for us to like take care of him. Yeah, it's not. There weren't like really problems. But as we got older and like more things started to happen and dumb stuff would happen, I mean, me and him just turned it into comedy. Like, we just laughed at them being dumb because we just knew they were being dumb. Like, there's nothing I can do about them being dumb. And we were old enough to not really like. I was old enough to where I wasn't gonna be at somebody's like will.
Yeah.
But you're still kind of young, Josh.
But yeah, and the problem with Josh is he doesn't have the same relationship with his brother.
Yeah, the same disposition. I mean, it's just different. I don't know what I did when I was that young, when I had problems. I don't know. I spent a lot of time reading. I read a lot when I was a kid.
Josh, do you feel like you have a friend you can talk to?
No.
Do you think Caleb, would you be willing to be there for him?
Why don't you stream it?
What?
Why don't you stream it?
She'll just walk in and be like, "Are you recording me?"
And you'd be like, "No, I'm live streaming, you dummy," and I do a dance. You like, do the floss dance.
And then she just take my iPad and throw it off a balcony.
And just slap you. Ah! Stream disconnects. That's it, guys. That's it for my stream. I'm tearing up.
Well,
I'm going to
I'm being a
bed.
mom now. I'm being a mom now, but I feel like every single person should have someone they feel like they can trust and believe in and just talk to no matter what it is.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you don't feel like you have that, you need to
It's
find
usually
somebody.
Dad, but if it gets like really, really bad, then I call him and I'm like, "Hey, you have to pick me up."
Like, hey, I'm out skiing. I don't know. I'm just kind of young, Josh. It's kind of sad. I don't think you have the disposition or the mindset to just laugh at things when they're just dumb.
Yeah, and the problem is it's reality for him, so that's what we're saying. What can
That's
we
what I
do?
mean. Like, when me and Connor were, like, dealing with problems, I mean, we were, like, what, 12, 14? Like, we were at a point where at the end of the day, like, I don't know, I just felt somewhat independent at that point. Like,
Yeah, but you
they'd
didn't
go,
have
"Come on, get in the
same-
car, we're going to the store." And I'd be like, "No, I'm not going to the store."
But you
Shut
didn't
up.
have the same problems that he has.
Yeah, I
You
know.
have an alcoholic.
I don't know. I don't really have great advice, Mom. The best advice that I could give like a normal grown-up person is if they keep going to a situation where it makes them unhappy, stop going to that situation. But I mean, he can't not do that.
So how does he deal with it? I guess is the question.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, distraction would be cool. Play games or read or something, but it's not always possible. Just kind of bide your time.
Well, the good news is you know that you always have the dad outlet, and you can always call him no matter what.
Yeah.
Just help you through it.
I think we're gonna wrap it up here.
We've drained all Joshy's happiness.
I'm tired.
I'm tired.
All right, so on to a happier note. What should we talk about?
Why don't you talk about your dreams, Josh? You have pretty
Oh my
vivid
gosh,
dreams.
his dreams are kind of creepy sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Pretty wild dreams. I don't dream at all, so.
So, if you're Marvel fans, then you'll know this character called Galactus. I had a dream about him once. So, the world is being invaded, and this thing is like a Galactus robot. It was like slowly coming into the Earth. Like you could see it. It was like misted in the clouds. You could see it, the shape of its helmet, like slowly peeking in. So then we were doing all these tasks for it, I think. And then once we did all of them, it came down and it was like, "Okay, yeah, I'll get you out of here." And then we said no, and then we fought it. And then
Who's we?
me and some 3 boys and girl.
Josh, how do you feel about like your friends at school and stuff?
Oh, great.
How do you feel about the fact that you're going to be by yourself next year and Christian's going to be in another school?
Yeah.
Do you
That
feel
sounds fun.
freedom? Like you're going to be able to be different, or are you kind of lonely and nervous about it?
No, I think I'll find some friends.
Well, you have friends, honey, but I mean, like, is it going to be weird to not have him there?
No.
Like, I'm the younger sister, and when I finally was on my own, I just really discovered who I was, not having her around
I think
all
that's
the
what
time.
happened with Connor, too.
Connor did that too, yeah. He's like, I was able to really be away from Caleb and kind of figure out myself.
Yeah.
Because you're always under the shadow of your older sibling when you're the younger one. Do you feel like that?
Yep. Then it's also great having him around because I'm always getting recognized in 6th grade.
Oh, because they know who Christian is?
Yeah.
But now you're going to be able to establish that spot for yourself.
Then Joey will just blabble everything out.
How old is Joey?
A year old. 11.
So he's gonna be in 6th grade next year,
Yeah.
and you're gonna be in 5th.
I'm Captain Marvel.
Who's your favorite superhero?
That's a hard one. Thor, Captain Marvel.
And why?
Thor and Captain Marvel, huh?
Thor's cool.
How?
Mommy's is cool. You have big old biceps, throwing axes.
Not.
Robin, don't give up. What do you do?
It's just I'm not telling the
Ah,
story.
jeez,
I'm
it's
just
ruined.
saying.
Okay, I was.
All right, Caleb can edit that out.
Yo, we were literally sitting at a baseball
I'll
game, and
bleep
I was
it.
like, wasn't it funny how Thor? And you're like, shh, don't say it.
Jeez.
All these people probably haven't seen it yet. And then you literally just blabbed
All
it
right,
out when
we'll
he hits
have
100
Caleb edit
views.
it out.
Yeah,
Okay.
my massive fan base is gonna know now, Mom. Jesus.
I know. I'm sorry. Edit it out. Don't put it in there.
Tor.
I'll bleep it. Thor. I'll bleep it.
Bleep it.
It'll be funny. Oh, Thor is all big. Oh my God, Robin! I was like that through all of elementary school, pretty much until 8th grade. I got my first couple friends in 7th grade. All of like the elementary school days, I pretty much just played.
Girls.
Yeah, I was just.
Caleb
friends
had a
with the
ton of girls that were his friends.
I was just friends.
He
with
was
all
a
the girls.
player.
I didn't want to date any of them. For them it was like I hang with Caleb, and they like try to like hug me and stuff, and I'd be like, all right, you guys are the only people that hang out with me, so I'll hang out with you guys.
So, Josh, listen to this. So Caleb goes to a birthday party, and I take him and I drop him off at the house, and I don't know anything about it. So I go to pick him up, and I go inside. The mom's like, "Come on in. They're all at the table." So I go into the kitchen. It's this really long table, and they're all like making things, crafty things,
Okay.
and Caleb is the only boy at the entire birthday party,
Didn't even notice.
and he's all like,
I also don't remember.
and they didn't. It was a swim party. You remember?
You know, it was super big.
Was that Gina's? Because that's when you would
Wait,
like wear a
swim
shirt.
party?
You went swimming and you wanted to wear your shirt.
No,
like,
that sounds like
'cause
Delaney's.
In 6th
That
grade,
was Delaney's.
yeah, in 6th grade you did not feel comfortable
Yeah, that's when I started
swimming
getting
without
fat.
your shirt.
Man, I was lame. I was jumping in the pool wearing a shirt.
Well, you know you were uncomfortable with your physique
Yeah.
because you did get a little tiny.
I got chubby.
But then you grew out of it. But, oh my gosh, I was just like, and the mom was like, I think it is so cool that he came, and you were like in it. You were in it. You were like totally involved. You were oblivious to the fact that you were the boy, and it was really funny.
Yeah. So let it be
really
known,
cute.
feminists, if you ever come after me,
Bring it.
I see no gender.
Boy.
Those parties always had those Dance Dance Revolution games. Those were fun.
Did you play well?
I'd play them. Yeah, they'd always want me to play. Like, come on, Caleb, play. And then I'd do a little dumb dance. 'Cause I was goofy. I was a stupid, goofy kid, and I'd be all spazzy, and they'd laugh at me.
Yeah, but you always had rhythm. You got that from us. I mean, you got rhythm, musical ability.
But I don't know.
Was it?
But and her kids. So Josh,
she was very religious.
she was a mom that like did.
I worked with her. She taught with me.
Well, she cut her kids off from technology pretty much entirely. They were like futuristic Amish. They didn't play games. They were allowed to watch like 30 minutes of TV a day, and they usually do it like at the end of the day, like an hour or two before bed. So all they had was like Legos and books, and they like played the piano and stuff, which is kind of cool, but
Yeah.
totally just cut off from technology. So every time we went over there, like it was kind of fun because me and Connor would do Legos and stuff. So we could do Legos, we could do guys. It was kind of fun, but they were weird. They were just weird.
Because they didn't know how to be.
Yeah, they were just weird kids. It's weird. Their mom was weird. They were weird. And they'd come over to our house. There's one time they came over to our house,
Yeah,
and we were like, there was some sort of event because there were multiple kids, and then me and Connor just kind of, me and someone, I think it was me and Connor, and me and someone else, we just went upstairs and started playing the Xbox. And then those kids came upstairs and I'm like, oh my god, what's this? And like, well, it's an Xbox, we're playing a game. And then they asked to play, and then I didn't play the Xbox for the rest of the night. After like 20 minutes of just watching and like watching them not give it up, I'm like, I'm just gonna go. And then I just left, and then they sat in that room the whole night and just played Xbox. I didn't see them for the rest of the night.
Do you know what happened with me and her
No.
in our relationship? So we were good friends, and then one time I was texting her, and it was around Christmas time, and she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I just came from shopping Christmas presents for the boys, and she's like, oh. And then I was saying, yeah, I got them this and this, and she's like,
well, that's wrong. You shouldn't be spending all your money on that. You're overindulging. She was just totally giving me this lecture about how I was, like, really, there's needy people in the world, and I was being over extravagant, and you didn't need all the presents you got, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, okay. And that was it. And she and I didn't talk again because she was judging me and making me feel really bad about what I was trying to do for you guys. And that was it. She and I really didn't talk again. And then I've reached out to her a few times here and there, but she's a really amazing person, but she was an extremist, and I just wasn't there at that. I wasn't there, so I just felt it was uncomfortable, and I didn't like her judging me that way for what I didn't judge her for her beliefs and wanting to keep her kids from that.
She's weird.
But I just felt like she like chastised me, and she was like really criticizing me for the amount of money I was spending on you guys, and because of her belief system, she thought I should be giving it to religion and this and that, and I don't know. It made me uncomfortable, but that's when your dad and I were divorcing, and I guess it was a little extreme because we were trying to, dote on you both. I don't know. It was just uncomfortable. So that ended it.
So, is this where we're gonna wrap up?
Yeah.
Josh is like,
This is
peace
kinda
out.
Cool. These are cool perspectives, like the perspective of the next generation and the perspective of the last one. It's kind of cool. Maybe I should bring some of my friends here sometimes.
I really
get
wish.
everyone. I bring like 2 of my friends. We get Christian down here and get the whole spread.
Yeah, I really want to know who this person is. That and there's another person named another woman, but
I'm
I
not
don't
gonna
think you.
remember their names. I don't even remember the boys'
But
names.
I don't ever remember you playing with her son. You were the same age as her, but and she and I met on the field trip when we went to the park, like the forest parky thingy, and then we became friends from that. And they had a beautiful house, and they lived right down the street from me.
Yeah, they had a nice house. I remember them having a nice house. I remember not Paul Blart. I remember the retarded policeman videos, and then I remember playing some dance game.
Yeah,
The
that was
Jaden.
probably Broden.
Alright,
He's
you guys
huge
finish it
now,
up
too.
without me, okay?
You done,
All right,
Josh?
say goodbye to your audience.
You want to shout out your channel, Josh?
No, I don't care.
No, Josh Draws. What is it? Josh Draws and.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout it out.
All right, night, Josh.
Good night.
There he goes, ladies and gentlemen.
Let me see my hair clip.
Yeah, we'll end it. All right. Well, another good episode, I think. Another fun episode of.
That you're gonna spend a ton of time editing.
I'll spend a few hours. It's not anything crazy. But that was another episode of Soupcast. Thank you for tuning in and checking out this sneak peek behind the life of your number one soup boy.
Of course.
Man. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys liked it. All right. Bye.